sequencing to try and get Blue Jays hitters out.
Nathan Lucas to lead it off, hitting .265 on the season. This ball game is underway with a fastball inside for ball one. Lucas has done a very nice job since he has been moved up to the leadoff spot against right-handed pitching. Hitting over 300. Taking some walks, but also when he wants to go out and ambush somebody, he gets after it. Hit a couple of home runs in the series in Detroit. Jordan Westberg, the third baseman, even with a bag, just a few steps off the line. And there's a strike, the first of the night. It is 2-1. You mentioned kitchen sink for Zach Eflin. This might be the kitchen sinkiest matchup you can have in the big leagues with Chris Bassett.
Two guys with a lion.
Yeah. And down goes Lucas in a heap. Back up, but obviously feeling it.
Right off the instep of the right foot. Amazing how so many hitters use that shin pad. There is an additional toe pad that can come with it. It usually fits in right on around the tongue part of your cleat. Some guys like it, some guys don't. Some guys think it hampers their ability to run, but so many foul balls find their way right on that instep. And those are kind of soccer-style cleats that he's wearing. Not a ton of padding in those certain types of cleats.
And Brian Walsh, the home plate umpire, is doing Lucas a solid right now and giving Nathan as much time as he needs. It appears for hopefully that pain to go away just a little bit. It doesn't really look like it has. It looks like it's still stinging him. But he is back in the box and awaiting the 2-2. Bounces it foul, first base side. Not only Lucas leading off, but he's been the center fielder against right-handed pitching. Of course, Dalton Varsho now appears to be just a few days away. It sounds like maybe Friday back in Toronto. Swing and a miss, and Eflin gets Lucas for the first out of the ballgame.
Looks like it's one of these slower breaking balls from Eflin. A lot of times when he throws that cutter on the inner half and then works the slower breaking ball on that same lane, the tendency you want to get out in front as a lefty. He's able to go underneath off Lucas right there.
So one down, and now here's George Springer. George is the DH tonight, as he generally has been in recent weeks, and he'll swing at the first pitch and lift a fly ball to center. Cedric Mullins in the sunshine out there will make the catch, 2 down. We asked John Schneider before the game about, with the heat and all these games coming fast and furious, have you kind of tentatively mapped out your lineups for all 4 games already? And he said, not entirely, but with certain guys, yes. I would think Springer is one of those certain guys. Maybe George gets a game off at some point. Maybe Vladdy gets a DH day. DH game, one of the games tomorrow. I mean, again, it's 4 games in less than 48 hours, and you've only got 13 position players. A lot of guys are going to play a lot of baseball. You do get a 27th man, but every team brings up a pitcher. Guerrero hits a one-hopper to short. Gunnar Henderson has it, and Zach Eflin sets down the Blue Jays in order. Chris Bassett to the mound when we come back to Baltimore.
season. Remember, last time out versus the Yankees, threw a season-high 7 1/3 innings pitched. Gave up 3 earned runs, 4 total, but was able to hang in there, get the win. I loved how he used the four-seam and curveball combo versus their left-handers. Orioles have 6 left-handers in the lineup. Wonder if he uses more north-south stuff versus east-west stuff.
Jackson Holliday is the leadoff man for the Orioles. Former first overall pick, who has taken some nice strides here in his second year in the big leagues. He's got 14 homers, hitting .263. He's been the leadoff guy for the Orioles for a while. You still look at this lineup, and you know the Orioles have had a tough year, but you look at the names and you go, wow, this is still a very dangerous-looking lineup. Big swing and a foul back. Jackson Holliday does not get cheated when he swings the bat. And his brother Ethan, of course, the 4th overall pick in the recent draft just a couple of weeks ago. He is a Colorado Rocky, or a future Colorado Rocky. The 0-2 to Holliday. And a breaking ball is hit down the right field line, but he's out in front of it and pulls it foul into the seats. Chris Bassett is a guy who loves to be efficient with his pitches, get quick outs whenever he can, and on a hot night like this night, that seems doubly important. Up and away. He's made 2 starts here as a Blue Jay, one last year, one 2 years ago, and neither one of them went well. He's had success against the Orioles in Toronto, but he has not had success in his 2 starts as a Blue Jay here in Baltimore. And he missed just inside the old front hip two-seamer that just couldn't quite get back to the inside corner. Those are Bassett's total numbers here at Camden Yards, including a couple of starts before he became a Blue Jay. Swing and a miss, tied him up with a cutter in, and he gets him 1 down.
It's that cutter from Bassett, probably trying to go up and away, but sometimes when you pull a cutter like this, it can really be effective, especially gets all the way to the inner part. It's a very dangerous pitch if left over the middle of the plate. Probably wanted it up and away, but going middle in is a fine spot.
So if you got to miss in there.
Absolutely. Off the plate.
1 down. Here's Jordan Westberg, the third baseman. One of the many guys who has dealt with injuries this year for the Orioles. Had a hamstring injury, missed 6 weeks. That's why he's only played in 54 games. This is a very good player. Got a lot of power. Look how late, and Bassett kind of missed his spot, but look how late Tyler Heineman was sliding to the inside part of the plate there. Just not wanting to give anything away until the last possible moment. Every team always worried that the other team might pick up some information. 0-2, and that's bounced up the middle, a base hit. Defensively, right now, Heineman is kind of filling in as the number 1 catcher with Alejandro Kirk on the IL, the 7-day concussion IL. So let me ask you, as Gunnar Henderson steps in, you've been Tyler Heineman, you've been that guy, and now the number 1 guy goes on the IL, and your role changes suddenly and drastically.
It sure does, and you got to be prepared, you got to be ready, and I know Tyler is ready, he's prepared.
Long hold there by Bassett, and Henderson hits one in the air to shallow left field, and a nice sliding catch by Loper Fido, covering a lot of ground for the second out.
Looked like Loper Fido might have gotten a little bit of a late jump on this fly ball to left. Sometimes you can lose it in the stands as well. He keeps his eye on it. Love the backup there from Lucas in center field, because if Loaf Perfito is going to leave his feet, you got to have coverage on the back end. Well, heads up play by both the left fielder and the center fielder.
So 2 down, and now the return for Adley Rutschman. Again, just activated off the IL today, an oblique injury that cost him better than a month. He got off to a very slow start this year and had just started swinging the bat better when the injury occurred. And when you start talking about opposing players who have hurt the Blue Jays over the years, this guy is on the list. He has done a lot of damage against Blue Jay pitching. The lead at first by Westberg, 2 down. Step off by Bassett. In 47 games against the Blue Jays, Adley Rutschman is hitting .321, and his OPS is just shy of 1,000. Got 13 home runs in those 47 games.
And it's been all types of pitches. They've tried a lot of different zones. They've tried pitches. They've tried to hammer him on the inner half. They've tried to go underneath, soft, hard. He's been covering, and a lot of times you try and throw the kitchen sink at him. Well, who's the best guy to do that? Chris Bassett.
Popped up third base side. Wagner is racing over, but running out of room is back out of play. Is he a different hitter from the left side than he is from the right side?
I feared him as a hitter from the left side. Just watching him, I wasn't able to play against him, but I wasn't as afraid watching him from the right side. It's something about the contact ability from the left side. I know there's a little bit more power and the numbers are better from the right side, but sometimes you just feel like there's more zones to attack. And I feel like his zone is up and close to him.
Fouls another one off. I always think in this ballpark, it looks so much easier to hit the ball out to right field than it is to left field, even though they've made an alteration to the alteration out in left field. But when I picture him doing damage here in this park, I picture him from the left side hitting it over the scoreboard.
No question. And it really does fly, especially as the summer continues on. It continues to fly towards right center field.
Swing and a miss, a slow curveball at 71 miles an hour from Chris Bassett gets Rutschman.
Must be something heaven sent. Payback for the love I spent. Oh my, this time I'ma keep it going. Stay fucked up, feel so good. High on my, the sky underneath my feet.
And this is a good lineup to throw a lefty against, Dan.
That's a great point right at the end there, Arden, as Baltimore really struggles with left-handed pitching, so you would imagine that Easton Lucas has a big role probably in that first game with, as Arden said, it sure seems like Eric Lauer is going to start the second game. You do get a 27th man, one extra player for the doubleheader. Yes, Paxton Schultz is on the IL, but yes, he is ready to go. He had a finger issue. Talked to him for a while today. He had a couple of rehab outings. They both went very well. He is ready to go and figures to be activated tomorrow. Swinging a foul back by Bichette, 1 and 2. So if all three of those guys are put on the roster, then two guys have to come off the roster. Obviously, again, you get a 27th man, so you can bring three on, take two off, and then the 27th man goes back to the minors at the end of the day. But tomorrow is going to be a busy day in the roster move department as Bo Bichette picks up tonight where he left off yesterday. He was 5 for 5 in yesterday's series finale in Detroit, and he's got a base hit his first time up today.
Love that Bo Bichette is willing to kind of pull breaking balls right now. In the last couple weeks, I've really seen him be willing to use the left side of the field off of slower stuff, and I really think that opens up his game for a lot of power extra base hits because we know he can go to right center at any point off of a fastball.
A leadoff single, and here's Addison Barger, who rips it foul into the netting beyond the first base dugout. Out in front of that cutter. Barger had just 3 hits in the 4 games in Detroit, but they were all extra base hits, 2 doubles and a triple. And he seems to specialize in extra base hits. He has given the Blue Jays a lot of much-needed power this year. Now has to battle at 0-2. You're driving a run per game, and they're going to keep putting you in the lineup. Eflin sneaks a peek at Bichette, who is being held on by Mayo over at first. And the 0-2 swung on and missed. A curveball from Eflin to get Barger 1 down.
So he goes in up on the hands with a cutter, in up on the hands, and then keeps it in that same lane. A very similar pitch to Lucas in the first inning. And it's kind of that 12-6 slower curveball that we've seen Bassett have a ton of success with. Eflin is going to try and use that as a 2-strike pitch, especially after seeing some hard cutters close to the left-handers.
Now Ernie Clement, who will look at a strike. Clement at 278 on the season. I'll look down to Carlos Fabulous to see if they've got anything cooking here with a runner at first and 1 out. Popped him up in foul territory near first base. And there is plenty of room for Mayo to make the catch. And just like that, 2 down. Is Eflin one of these comfortable 0 for 4 guys sometimes? I felt good, and I had good swings, and 0 for 4.
It's a guy that you really are excited to face because there's nothing that's overpowering. There's nothing that's scaring you out of the zone, but he's one of those at-bats that you can feel in total control, and if you let your guard down and discipline down for 1 second, you've rolled over or popped up.
Joey Loperfido, the batter.
Sometimes those power guys are the easier at-bats just because you're thinking of one thing, which is just kind of get it out front. You got to be ready, and there's not a ton of real thinking involved. Well, you got to really think with Eflin because he's playing chess out there, and you got to pick one spot, eliminate another, etc.
Loperfido reaches for it and sends a fly ball to left field. Colton Cowser will make the catch, and that'll be that for the Blue Jays in the top of the second.
Pretty close to heaven now. Moments of euphoria. I am never coming down.
really nice thing, the last time around, the last 5 games, Caleb, the starters combined to throw 34 in a third inning. So basically, 7 innings per start, just under 7 innings per start. The bullpen really needed that, especially heading into this stretch with 4 games in 3 days.
Couldn't have been more perfect timing for the Blue Jays bullpen just to kind of get their feet under them. Like you said, coming into this, you're going to see all 26 men used in this little set here with 4 games in a matter of 48 hours.
Ryan O'Hearn leads it off in the bottom of the second for the Orioles. And Ryan O'Hearn is one of several likely future former Baltimore Orioles. He is a free agent at the end of the year. Was an all-star this year, although he got off to a great start, has kind of cooled off over the last month. But certainly a guy that a contending team would love to have. You can play first base, they DH him, you can stick him in a corner outfield spot if you want, left-handed bat. And there may be 5 guys on this Oriole roster right now. They might play through this whole series because the trade deadline is Thursday. But there may be 5, 6 guys on this team who might not be Orioles in a few days. The Orioles and Blue Jays have kind of swapped spots from where they were last year. Last year at this time, Blue Jays were here, coincidentally, when the trade deadline was happening. And that's when they unloaded a lot of players. And the Orioles were the contending team, and now the roles have reversed. And without question, Baltimore is going to deal some of those expiring contracts. O'Hearn will line one into left for a base hit. 2 years ago, they won 101 games. It looked like they might. A lot of concern in the offseason from their fan base about the starting pitching. Corbin Burns left, and you didn't go out and sign a couple of real dudes. They did sign Charlie Morton, Tomoyuki Sugano, but they didn't get a number 1 guy, and kind of their worst fears have been realized this season.
Amazing how a number 1 that's only going to make 33, 35 starts can really impact the direction of not only a season but an organization.
And now if you're an Orioles fan, if you're a glass half empty Orioles fan, you're starting to say things like, man, Rutschman's arbitration eligible now.
Exactly.
And Gunnar will be next year. And will they hold on to these guys? And windows can open fast and they can close fast.
We were in that exact same situation with Bo and Vladdy a couple of years ago. The window's closing. It never is as long or as large as you think it is. And I remember being in that dugout at this park in 2018 going through this exact same scenario where we knew we were about to sell off quite a few pieces, and it's such a weird time because some guys are going to be gone, yet you're trying to win right now with the same guys.
John Schneider was talking about it today, and again, the Blue Jays were here at the trade deadline last year, and they were trading away players. And he said, kind of tongue-in-cheek, but not really, that players were afraid to walk by his office because they were worried he might say, come on in here, I need to talk to you. And players didn't know who was going to be dealt. It's just kind of a very unsettling time. It's different when you're acquiring players, and, that has everybody a little bit on edge too, but in a better way, I guess. But, that's where the Orioles are now, but the Blue Jays in the opposite boat, looking to acquire a couple of players, you would think, between now and the deadline. This is another interesting guy, Ramon Laureano. Swing and a miss as he waves at the curveball. An outfielder who's having a very good year, has a very good arm, has hit for power this year, right-handed back, can help a team against lefties. I would imagine a number of teams have called the Orioles about Ramon Laureano.
Older player, experienced, has played in the playoffs, knows what that's all about. Can't put a finger on experience in the playoffs for sure.
Third strikeout already for Chris Bassett. And here's Colton Cowser. Lifts a fly ball to left. Loperfido has lots of time, lots of room, and makes the catch. 2 down. I'm sure Joey's happy to be on the shaded side of the... it's hot everywhere right now, but... and it's gone away a little bit over the last inning or so, but Addison Barcher was dealing with a lot of sun early on, and Joey Loperfido's, he got lucky. He got the shaded side of the field.
And you can see those shadows earlier in the game, right around the first inning. Though there was a second layer of shadows as well, making it really difficult for hitters to really pick up spin, but it's becoming more and more easy with the shadows moving to the right side past Bassett. A lot of times you can't pick up, you can see a direction, you can't necessarily see exactly what spin it is, but I remember at this time of year, usually took about 3 innings before it to be totally complete. Lights start to set in, and then you feel like you're really into the game.
O'Hearn the lead at first, 2 down. The batter is Cedric Mullins, the center fielder, another guy who could be traded in the next few days, and a guy who at one point was an outstanding player, won an all-star, won a Silver Slugger, I should say, was an all-star, but he has fallen off in recent years, both offensively and defensively. He's a free agent at the end of the season. So you'd imagine the Orioles will try to, with a number of players, cut their losses, save a little payroll if they can, get a few prospects. And Mullins, a guy who could be traded. That was interim manager Tony Mansolino you saw there in the dugout. Things have gone so poorly for the Orioles this year, they fired their manager, Brandon Hyde, a couple of months ago, and Mansolino has taken over on an interim basis. Two and two the count on Mullins. Fouled off as Bassett goes to a fastball up and away, but Mullins got a piece of it. See Bassett calling his own pitch, going to his PitchCom transmitter on his right hip. Missed just low, just down and in with that 94-mile-an-hour two-seamer.
He's got good stuff tonight. Really trying to hammer Mullins with some hard stuff. Wouldn't be surprised if he really tried to pull the string on a slow curveball. Really using that lately to get hitters off balance.
Hearn will be running. There he goes. And he did have him off balance with the curveball, but Mullins got a piece of it.
And I was fortunate to face Chris Bassett in the, what's the word? The tunnel, the hitting tunnel. Off of the traject machine, and that was so fun to watch his angle and how it dropped down and how slow that curveball actually moved. It was really cool to see what a live hitter would see. It looks juicy, but I'm telling you, at the bottom of the zone, it really bites.
In the air to deep right field, and this one is long gone. On a full count offering, Cedric Mullins hits it out, his 15th home run of the season, and the Orioles take a 2-0 lead.
Well, Mullins really does have power to the pull side. Looks like Bassett was trying to get him to roll over with a pitch on the outer half. That sinker just kind of flattens out, and when a sinker flattens out like that, especially with a left-handed swing that moves more down towards the right side of the field, it runs right into the barrel. Short porch out there in right field here at Camden Yards.
408 feet on that home run for Mullins, and Baltimore strikes first. Number 9 hitter is the first baseman, Kobe Mayo. And now Mayo hits one a long way to left field. And the Orioles have gone back-to-back.
Well, you were just talking about this Orioles lineup and the power it possesses. A little bit shocked that they're in the position they are, but they can still thump, and Mayo is a big, strong righty. Watch him try and get inside on this sinker, trying to jam the big righty. That's where he is vulnerable, but that stride stays open. And if you don't get it to the spot, it ends up being right down the middle. He didn't miss it.
So a very loud bottom of the second. It is 3-0 Orioles, a Baltimore team that actually comes into this series feeling pretty good about itself offensively. Now, they did just play Colorado, so that is part of it. But they scored 29 runs in the 3 games, winning 2 of 3. Beat them 18-0 on Saturday. A little tapper back to the mound here by Jackson Holliday. That'll end the inning, but not before the Orioles score 3 runs.
Pretty close to heaven now. Moments of euphoria. I am never coming down. Oh my, this time I'ma keep it going. Stay fucked up, feel so good. I am the sky underneath my feet. It never looked so good. Oh my, that's right. I'ma keep it up, stay fucked up. That's my mood. Oh my, euphoria.
From him, he feels confident that he can do what they want. He knows what his job is. His job is not to steal the #1 job from Alejandro Kirk. His job is to fill in when Kirk is not available, do the job defensively. What do you think this is? Did he ask for time? Or not sure what's going on here. Or maybe they're just discussing whether or not that was a ball or a strike. Looks like it was called a strike. It was, and that's what Heineman is saying. That's not a strike. So he just didn't like the call on the pitch. But Heineman told me he tries to stay very focused on just the immediate task at hand. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this if they have trouble kind of getting things done. Like the first thing he does when he gets up every morning, he makes his bed. And he said, there, I did that. Now what's next? Now what's next? And that's the mindset that he takes into the meeting before the game. And the game, what do I have to do next? Help my pitcher. What do I have to do next? Go over the scouting report of the next hitter, whatever it is. That one might have gotten a piece of the bare hand of Eflin. Boy, if you're Eflin, well, if you're any pitcher, the last thing you want to do is reach out with your bare hand and try to catch the ball.
Such an easy reaction for baseball players to really want to get out there and grab it. And you can see his right hand. He's going for it, but he pulls it away right at the last minute. Might have jammed Heineman there. But yeah, that's the last thing you want to see as a manager on both sides. It's a pitcher really trying to get out there and snag that ball.
So one down, here's Will Wagner. Can you relate like to Arden's story about the way Heineman's feeling?
No question. And I remember playing with Heineman in 2019, and you could tell he was a bit kind of high-strung. And it was fun to watch him kind of settle into that organization, to that level of play. And I know exactly what he's feeling like when he's talking about feeling that anxiety of being a backup. The certainty of knowing when you're going to play and what's called for you that game is massive. It's massive to know those elements.
Pretty good contact from Will Wagner, but he lines it up the middle where Gunnar Henderson is stationed, 2 down. Wagner just back with the team, as mentioned, after going to his dad, Billy, his Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Congrats to Billy Wagner. And so Will Wagner had to be put on the restricted list to do that. There's no other vehicle. And then Ali Sanchez came up and took the spot on the roster, and the 40-man roster, to fill in for Kirk. So they had to put Will Wagner back on the 40-man roster to get him on the 26th. The corresponding move is Bowden Francis, who has been out for a while, about 45 days, I believe. He's now been put on the 60-day IL, so that takes him off the 40-man roster. Nathan Lucas hits it foul, and it's 0-2. So far, not a lot of the A swings against Zach Eflin.
Eflin's not afraid to use that upper and inner quadrant, especially to left-handers. And it's a risky pitch throwing that cutter. If he leaves it more in the middle, it's a juicy pitch, but he's been getting it to the spot. And then he's been using that slow curveball underneath. It's the age-old speed him up to slow him down. Anytime you have a right-handed pitcher up there that can cut the ball in a good natural cutter, not one of those fake cutters that looks more like a slider, but a true left-to-right cutter. If you can speed up a lefty close to them, close to their letters, you can usually go soft underneath. He's been doing it for 2.5 innings already.
Another guy who's a free agent at the end of the year. Now, he brings a 5.78 ERA into this game, so it remains to be seen whether any team would want to trade even a mid-level prospect. But, would you want a veteran guy to be in the at the back end of your rotation if you're struggling finding 5 capable guys? Lucas sends this one down the left field line, dropping just foul.
Talk about those cutters moving in. This was a fastball up and in, and it is just about 1.5 inches away from being a double off the bat of Lucas. Against guys like Eflin, because the stuff isn't overpowering, your brain tells you to let the ball travel, but he's going to cut it up and in, especially if you're a lefty. So these type of guys, it's almost like you want to bat him out of there. You really want to speed up, try and catch him out front, and then try and react to the breaking ball.
That's the pitch you got Lucas on in the first inning. Lucas got a piece to stay alive here. Just one hit, one time through the order for the Blue Jays. Bo Bichette with a base hit to left. And again, the 1-2 to Lucas, and he sends this one high and deep to right. It is going to go! Nathan Lucas got the same pitch, that curveball down, and this time he got down under it, Caleb, and hit it on out of here.
A lot of times we hear hitting coaches talking about scooping the baseball. It's exactly what Lucas does right here. You know the old saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Lucas doesn't allow that to happen as he's going to put on the home run jacket here. I love the way that he contorted his body and got down underneath to scoop that baseball. Really, really good 2-strike at bat.
That's his 8th home run of the season and his 3rd home run in his last 15 at-bats. Again, he had 2 homers in Detroit, and he has given the Blue Jays everything they could have hoped for and beyond this year, getting a ton of playing time and earning it. Outside 2-0 to Springer.
Take another look at this home run string. Watch his front knee. Look how he bends that front knee. That allows him to get in the zone. It looked a lot like Bellinger right there, who's really good at hitting those off-speed pitches below the zone.
Springer comes up empty. It's 2-1. Fly ball to center field his first time up. Came into the game hitting .398 in his last 30 games. Had kind of a little valley for about a week and a half, maybe back in May it was, early to middle May, and that's it. He's been hot the rest of the season. He checked the swing, and it's called ball 4. They appeal down to first, but it goes the Blue Jays' way on both fronts, and it's a walk for Springer.
And I think it's takes just like that allow Springer to stay in a rhythm. A lot of times if you're chasing a pitch like that, you can look up and be 0 for 15, 0 for 20, but because he's laying off of it, he's cutting down those ABs, giving him time to find it quicker.
So Springer at first, 2 down, and here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who grounded out to short his first time up. Vladdy's got a couple of home runs off Zach Eflin. They both came last year. Eflin was a Ray in the first game and an Oriole in the second game. The Blue Jays saw Eflin 4 times last year between his two teams. In the air to deep center. Mullins back. At the wall. Jumps and it's gone. Guerrero has hit it out to center field. And the Blue Jays have quickly come back to tie it.
We saw a couple swings in Detroit that started to look like the A swing from Vladdy Guerrero Jr., and he just totally leans on this fastball. He's on time. The direction is perfect. And so many times as a hitter, if you can just feel that feeling of where the contact point is, where the direction is, it can start to lock you in. We've asked John Schneider, do you think he's one swing away? Could it be that the last 4 or 5 swings have really started to lock Vladdy in?
Number 15 on the season as he continues to swing the bat well out of the All-Star break. This wasn't a towering moonshot. This was, and he thought he got it. Watched it for a little bit, hit it hard, had a little bit of a slice in it to right center, but got just enough to get it over the wall. A couple of homers, 3 runs in the bottom of the second for the Orioles. A couple of homers, 3 runs in the top of the third for the Blue Jays. And Bichette, boy, when you're hot, you're hot. He's now got a hit in 7 consecutive at-bats. Come on, a little smile, though. Just a little smile on that one, don't you think, Caleb?
Oh, he's too stoic, too stoic. Such a vintage swing from Bichette when you're beat, but you have the type of hand-eye. This is what Bichette can do. Watch how this barrel just goes right towards that left thigh. He just pulls that barrel in so tight. It is so difficult to do what he does right there. It is so easy to back off, bail, hit that ball to third base. But he keeps his hands in so tight and rotates his body, holding the angle of the bat, pulls his hands in almost past his left side and just keeps the angle there. It's so difficult to do, but he has worked on that deep tee for so long. He almost puts the ball behind him when he's doing his warm-ups, and it allows his hands to be in a spot so that if he's beat, he can still get a good result versus a low left miss to the left side.
You saw that graphic moments ago, second in the major league in hits, and Aaron Judge is on the IL. Bo Bichette's going to be the hit leader in the major leagues, maybe by the end of the night. All of this with 2 outs for the Blue Jays. Heineman and Wagner were retired for the first 2 outs of the inning. Here's Barger now. Then Lucas homered, Springer walked, Guerrero homered. Bichette a base hit, and now Barger, who struck out his first time up. Makes it outside. That one got in on his hands. It'll wind up back in the seats, 1-2. He just seems so settled into his role right now. He knows against righties he's going to be in there. He's going to be hitting 5th. He knows what's expected of him. He knows he's going to bounce back and forth between 2 positions. Hitting big league lefty, still a work in progress right now for Barger, but boy, has he been a huge contributor for this team. Just did get a piece.
I think the biggest thing for me with Barger is how quickly he's able to come out of a little bit of a valley. With the pure tools that he has, it's very easy to see a younger player with this type of power go through a 1 for 25, but hitting coach David Popkins has done such a great job getting him out of these valleys and keeping him level.
To center field, Mullins broke back. Now he'll come in and over and make the catch, and that'll retire the side. But not before the Blue Jays get on the board in a very loud way. A couple of home runs, including Nathan.
Maybe I'm an alien. Must be something heaven sent. Payback for the love I spent. Oh my, this time I'ma keep it gon' stay fucked up, feel so good. High on my, the sky underneath my feet, it never looked so good. Oh my, that's right, I'ma keep it up, stay fucked up, that's my mood. Oh my euphoria.
As the offense has gotten him back to square one, and he dots a two-seamer over the outside corner with the knees. The strike to Jordan Westberg, who had a base hit off him in the first. 2-3-4, Westberg, Gunnar Henderson, and Adley Rutschman. So when you think about the core and the future of this team, as poorly as this year has gone for the Orioles, along with Jackson Holliday, who's up in the leadoff spot, this is it. That's the core of this team. Can they build around it? The pending free agents will move on, will be traded perhaps. And then what do they do in the offseason? They've got to go out and find some pitching. The farm system was always much stronger on the position player side than it was on the pitching side. Two and two. Straw, Davis Schneider, neither one of them in the starting lineup tonight, but they both know if the lefty gets in the game, there's an excellent chance that they will come in. This one lined hard into center, and Westberg is 2 for 2.
Really like Westberg's swing. It's a very simple setup, much like Kirk. There's not a lot going on, and he uses the right center field gap so well. You see how far that ball has to travel to get that ball to right center field. Rarely looks off balance. He's good on the fastball, can take breaking balls to right field. Really solid piece for the Orioles.
Now Gunnar Henderson, who hit a fly ball to left, the Orioles shortstop. Just a tremendous talent. Was on the IL at the beginning of the season, and then when he got healthy and got back in there, it took him a while to get going, but he is going again over the last couple of months. 2 years ago, he won the Rookie of the Year and a Silver Slugger. Last year, he was an All-Star and finished 4th in MVP balloting. And he just turned 24 a few weeks ago. This is a talent.
I think he's on the cover of MLB The Show 25 that my son loves to play.
So what's cooler, all those awards and honors that I said, or the fact that he's on the cover of MLB The Show?
That's a tough one.
I actually know the answer. It's what you said.
It has to be, right? And my son was like, "Hey, did you play with this guy?" I said, "No, buddy. He's about 12 years younger than me. He's a good-looking prospect, but looks the part. Big, strong, kind of shortstop. Not as big as Cal Ripken, but kind of that same mold. Thick. Made 2 really good defensive plays in yesterday's game against the Rockies. Total complete player.
2-1 the count. Now to play 2-2. If there's a hole, and if you're Chris Bassett, where is that hole? Where are you trying to get?
Well, I think that with a player like this who's able to stay inside the ball very well, down and away is typically the safe spot. But we know Chris loves to kind of go up and away with that cutter, especially with 2 strikes. I do think there's enough tilt to get some whiff up there, but I personally love staying kind of soft down and away until he stays on it. Once I feel like he's on it, then I'm going to have to crowd him. I feel like in the first 2 at-bats of this game so far, he's done a nice job trying to get in there. He sped him up. Now it's time to slow him down with something soft away.
Missed high with a fastball, 3-2. Bassett this year against lefties, he's tried the splitter, tried the changeup, gone back and forth from one to the other. Lefties have always been, in recent years anyways, much more of a problem for Bassett than righties. Let's see if Westbrook's on the move here. He is, and it's ball 4. So the Orioles have the first 2 men on. And now Bassett's got to deal with Adley Rutschman here as the Orioles try to take the lead again. He struck Rutschman out to win the first. The outside corner, ball 1.
You're talking about Bassett trying to use the changeup and the split. That's just to really try and get these lefties out front, which is why I really love the slower curveball. The game will dictate to you as a pitcher and a catcher when you really need to try and slow it down. Now's a good time for that.
And there it is, but he didn't get the call, and you could see how unhappy Tyler Heineman was about that. And John Schneider's no happier.
This looks like a strike for a long time. Strike, strike, strike. If it hits the front part of that box, oof.
Now 3-0.
And I just hate that because it takes a 1-0 pitch into a 1-1 count versus a 2-0 count. That totally flips the aggressiveness in Rutschman's favor. Now Bassett with runners at first and second is going to try and be a little bit more fine. Now he's boxed himself into a 3-0 count.
And finds the zone, 3-1. Doesn't look like Pete Walker's made a phone call, but you can see guys are kind of sensing what's going on right now and starting their routine before they're asked to get up and throw. Here's a drive to deep center field. Lucas giving chase, and it's off the wall. 1 run is home. The throw to the plate, not in time. It's a 2-run double for Rutschman, and the Orioles are back on top.
Looks like Bassett's trying to go away with the sinker, trying to get a rollover, and it just leaks right over the upper middle part of the plate. Rutschman does not miss it. Really good base running on the back end by Henderson. He read that right out of the gate, allowing him to score. Ernie could have possibly had a play at second base, had that redirect, not had a little bit of tail on it, but we talked about Rutschman being a threat and has hammered the Blue Jays over his career. First game back off of the injured list. He's really wanting to make a statement, and before you know it, Baltimore's right back on top.
And a lot of concern, obviously, for those two guys. Again, they did not make any roster moves before this game. They brought 3 pitchers to Baltimore in Lazaro Estrada, Paxton Schultz, and Easton Lucas, but did not put any of them on the active roster. They are all evidently here to be used tomorrow. You can see John Schneider, checking the charts, the information, who's coming up, what's a good pocket for which relief pitcher. He did not probably give a lot of thought, Caleb, to having to think about the bullpen in the 3rd inning of this game. Ryan O'Hearn, the batter, had a base hit and scored in the 2nd. One ball, one strike. Low curve and a swing and a miss, 1-2.
It's such an effective pitch for him. By my count, it's about almost 30 sinkers out of the 59 pitches that he's thrown in this outing. And look, I love the fact that he establishes the heater. I love the fact that he wants to get that pitch going to set up the other pitches. But the game will dictate when you need to slow down. And it's screaming to me that he needs to slow it down in terms of speed of pitch.
This is hit deep but foul down the right field line. Another curveball there to O'Hearn. You're right, about half of his pitches have been the two-seam fastball, the sinker, some curves, some cutters, some four-seamers, and just a few changeups. This is high, 2-2. Still nobody out here in the 3rd, and Bassett already up to 61 pitches as they look on from the bullpen. And out in front of another curveball, hits it foul. And it's now Mason Fluharty who has started to throw in the bullpen. High, 3-2. Bassett not really hitting his spots with that high cutter. Usually he's got it a little bit lower. He gets a lot of chase up there, but it's been too high for them to offer at. 5-3 Baltimore, bottom of the 3rd. Rutschman at second, nobody out. And that's strike 3 called on the inside corner to get O'Hearn for the first out of the night, or of the inning rather. And O'Hearn didn't like the call, and he's giving Brian Walsh a piece of his mind on his way back to the dugout.
It looked like a pulled changeup, and I love the call. I love trying anything different. Sometimes you got to kind of throw the scouting report out of the window and just start throwing pitches to try and find something that will lock you in, something that will work. Yes, it was pulled, but it was low in the zone. It froze O'Hearn up. That was a huge out. Now he can reset with Laureano, start with new count, see what's working now in this at-bat.
He struck Laureano out in the 2nd. And the curveball swung on and missed, 0-1. Again, those are solid numbers. A veteran guy. This is a guy who, it feels to me like he's going to be wearing a different uniform in a few days. Inside, ooh, he gets the call. Never mind, it's 0-2. And Laureano didn't like it, and he's got a beef. second disengagement in this plate appearance by Bassett. Now he's back on the rubber. And the 0-2. Pitches this inning and in this heat take a toll on you. Bassett wants to get as many outs as he can, and he just wants to get back in that dugout right now. He has been out there a while. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he just does not have a feel for that kind of upshoot cutter. The cutter he likes working at the top of the zone. A lot of times when you're getting under that baseball, it will just look like you just scudded it right up towards the middle of the plate. He's got to really get over that ball to start it a little bit lower to get some more swings on that high pitch.
Now a base hit into center for Laureano, and that's going to bring Rutschman in, and it is now 6-3 for the Orioles. And has John Schneider decided to make a change? It looks like he has. He's already pointed to the bullpen. A couple of lefties are due up, and he wants Fluharty to come in. A tough night here in Baltimore for Chris Bassett.
Pretty close to heaven now. Moments of euphoria. I am never coming down. Oh my, this time I'ma keep it going. Stay fucked up, feel so good. High on my, the sky underneath my feet. It never looked so good. Oh my, that's right. I'ma keep it up, stay fucked up, that's my mood. Oh my, euphoria. Maybe I'm an alien. Must be something heaven sends. Payback for the love I spent.
Went 6 up, 6 down. Talked about kind of a rejuvenated mindset, really getting in the zone, being on the attack. He's going to need to get on the attack early and often against the Orioles in this game.
Colton Cowser is the batter, and he'll take just off the outside corner for ball 1. It is 6-3 Baltimore. They got 3 in the bottom of the second. The Blue Jays tied it in the top of the third, and now the Orioles have come right back with 3 here in the bottom half. Ground ball to second. Clement to shovel to Bichette and on to first, a double play, and that's about as efficient as you can get. So Mason Fluharty gets a couple of quick outs, but the Orioles have the 3-run lead. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Ernie Clement shows bunt. I don't know that we've seen Ernie kind of show bunt, as if he were going to drop one down for a base hit to begin an inning or begin an at-bat. That's not really a big part of his playbook. I think he was just messing.
I would think so.
Yeah.
That's a high IQ, very long inning. Just give everyone a rest, even though Fluharty only came in through a couple pitches. But a savvy thing to do. Also brought Westberg in at third.
Takes a strike, 2-1. After Clement, it'll be Loper, Fido, and Heineman. Grounded up the middle, didn't hit it all that hard, but he hit it in the right spot. And that's a base hit for Clement to begin the inning.
Left fielder number 10, Joey Loper.
It's the fifth hit for the Blue Jays off Zach Eflin. And it'll be a man on for Joey Loperfido, who hit a fly ball to left in his first at-bat. What differences do you see, and it's only been a couple of weeks this year, but do you see in Loperfido from his time with the club last year?
Yeah, posture for sure. It's definitely obvious that he is more directionally straight up and down. And I talked to him in spring training about how, biometrically speaking, it sets his pelvis in a certain position that he's not really falling towards the plate. And he talked about being a little bit more hunched over and crouched, and when he would pick up his leg with a little bit more of a leg kick, it would push him towards the plate. He would start getting jammed up, turning what would be a middle pitch into an inside pitch. So staying a little bit more tall, staying more straight up and down is allowing him to stride closer to even.
Eflin out in front now, 1-2.
And if you start getting too closed off there, you can really start to feel anxiety trying to get to the inside pitch. And then the worst thing is you go back and look at the video and the pitch is down the middle and you would have thought that it was on the inner part of the plate. Then one thing leads to another, then your front hip starts flying and then you're all out of whack.
Eflin comes back with a changeup, and Loperfido fouls it off to stay alive. I think these young guys are the guys who might play in all four games here. Like, you could easily see a Loperfido, a Barger, a Wagner, guys like that playing all four games in 3 days if they try to give some of the veteran guys a little bit of a break here and there. That's pulled through the right side for a base hit. Up to second goes Clement, and the Blue Jays have the first 2 men aboard.
And so many times when you're able to cover an outside pitch with 2 strikes, it kind of baits the opposition into trying to go underneath and low. And I feel like that's a really good spot for Loperfido, the way his bat moves. Something slow, nestling middle down. We've seen him hit that pitch pretty hard to right field. But it's all about contact. And I think last year he might have swung and missed on the previous pitch, but by fouling it off, being in a better position to hit, he buys himself a little bit more of a mistake in a zone that he can handle.
Tyler Heineman, the batter, 2 on, nobody out. The third baseman, Westberg, has crept in. The first baseman, Mayo, is playing deep behind the runner. And Heineman squares and bunts it foul. 0-1. So do you like the strategy? It's pretty early in the game, and they're down by 3. We've seen him do that before. We know he can do it. Do you like the strategy?
We have. I at this point in the game, I really do like playing for the big inning. But I thought Wagner had a really nice at-bat off of Eflin, and if you can start to continue to chip away, that's never a bad strategy as well.
Gets it down. The only play is to first, and they'll get him, but that'll be a sacrifice for Heineman to advance both runners. 2-4 on the putout.
You got to bunt this ball to third base. You got to deaden it so that Rutschman, the catcher, can't pick this up and throw it to third base. Really good bunt right down the line. His bat was out in front. He deadens it off the end of the bat, drops it right in front. Very good bunt. And how many times did we see a situation like that last year where they couldn't execute it? They executed every single time this year.
Now Wagner, who will take a little bit inside ball one, and actually 2-3 on the putout. It was Mayo taking the throw at first, not Holiday coming up over. Infield is back now for the Orioles, so they'll concede a run on a ground ball by Wagner. And he'll hit it in and out of the glove of Holiday, so it will get a run home. Had Holiday hung on to that ball, obviously there was no chance for Clement to score, but the fact that it scored it out of Holiday's glove will make it an RBI groundout for Wagner.
And really good base running by Clement at third base. Such an easy play to kind of get stuck. Look at Loperfido just freeze. That's perfect. Look at Clement at third base. He waits. And because of his speed, he's able to skirt home. That's a real easy play to get locked up and not know. But look, right there, and then he makes a decision, and he stays with the decision. Tough base running play right there to read.
So the Blue Jays have one back and now trail 6-4. Here's Nathan Lucas, who homered on a curveball down his last time up, his 8th home run of the season. Eflin falls behind 2-0. Back to the Wagner at bat, he hit that ball 109 miles an hour. He's actually hit the ball hard twice tonight, but is 0 for 2. Does have an RBI. He's had a couple of good swings off Eflin. That is outside. 3-1 on Lucas. Crowd getting a little restless here. I think it might be more with the umpire than with Eflin, but they're not too happy right now. High fly ball to center field. Mullins still going back. Caught it! He leaps and takes a home run away from Nathan Lucas in straightaway center field. And getting a standing ovation from Oriole fans here at Camden Yards tonight. Lucas robbed of what might have been his second home run of the game. be like 8 or 9 feet, at least in part of the ballpark, which is now the case in center field in the Rogers Center. Didn't used to be that way. It used to be 10 feet all the way around. But, you know, you get an 8-foot wall, and you can let athletes be athletes out there.
Love it.
Mason Fluharty back on the mound for the Blue Jays, out in front 1-2.
Unless you're the hitter.
Right.
And then you're saying, Dan, I want that wall as tall as the wall at Fenway all the way around. And let me hit it over it so those guys can't rob you.
Mullins has had a good night. He's hit a home run and robbed a guy of a home run. And it's only the 4th inning. Outside with a cutter there from Fluharty, 2-2. Fluharty back a short while ago from Buffalo. And when I talked to him a couple of days ago, said a few times, I needed a reset. I feel like myself again. Went down there and worked with pitching coach Drew Hayes, a guy who has known him for 3 years now. Told me an interesting story. He said just before he got sent down, they were on the team plane. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. came up to him and said, can I talk to you for a second? 2-2 the count. In the air right center, Lucas is there. 1 down. And Guerrero was feeling that Fluharty wasn't coming in enough to right-handed batters with his cutter. And on the team plane, Vladdy went over to Fluharty and said, hey, man, we don't like it in there. He said, you got to get back to getting inside sometimes with your cutter. Otherwise, they're going to be leaning out over the plate. And listen, when Vladimir Guerrero Jr. tells you something about how hitters feel and you're Mason Fluharty, they're going to take that to heart. Upstairs with that cutter, ball 1 to Kobe Mayo.
And he's watching so many of Fluharty's at-bats, and he's kind of dissecting. And I'm sure Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is sitting there saying, if I was facing Fluharty, what would my approach be? And it's really great feedback that you're looking for, especially as a youngster. And when you have a veteran player and your star player come out and tell you, hey, I see this. It's something that you, like you said, you take to heart and you think about that. You stew on it, and then you start to look at your usage, and then you just got to make sure you know who you are and what you did to get there is good enough to sustain success, typically in the big leagues, especially as a reliever.
1-1, the count on Mayo, the number 9 hitter for the Orioles. And there's the cutter in, and you can see how uncomfortable Kobe Mayo was right there.
And it's because of the angle as Brendan Little's warming up in the bullpen. Fluharty's so close to that first base side of the rubber. From a right-handed perspective, you're kind of looking out towards second base, and that ball just bears in on your hands. It forces you to speed up. Very uncomfortable when it's crossfire like that.
We don't see Brendan Little get up in the 4th inning very often, if ever, this year, but obviously the Blue Jays are in it to win it. It's a 2-run game, and Little clearly is getting ready for the likes of Holiday, Henderson, maybe turning Rutschman around. But the Blue Jays are going to have to go through a lot of pitchers here tonight. And I don't want to speak for you, but I was surprised there was no roster move today. Justin Brule last night threw 27 pitches, Chad Green threw 24, and then we found out they had 3 pitchers here. I thought one of the moves would come today just to get a fresh arm. All the guys they brought up can give them multiple innings, but now they don't really have a long guy available tonight. This ball lined to left, and that's going to be a base hit for Mayo, his 2nd hit of the game. He homered in the 2nd. And no matter what happens here, they're going to have to use a lot or a number of their higher leverage guys just to get through this game, and there's a doubleheader tomorrow.
2 tomorrow is the key, and you're always trying to guard against a short start. And the Blue Jays starters have been very, very good in terms of length, and the bullpen was rested, but baseball's such a funny game. You can go through a span where you feel really good about your situation, and in one game it can feel like it's all gone to the wayside.
And sometimes you just have to safeguard against the worst case scenario. What happens if, right? And again, with Brule having thrown 27 pitches, I thought there was a chance he would be optioned. He's got options, and they put one of those multi-inning guys on the roster for this game. But I would guess maybe they have specific plans for how all 3 of them, how they want to use them in the doubleheader tomorrow. But boy, this has given them a complicated situation here tonight.
I did too. I really thought they were going to make a move just to have coverage in case there's a comeback or a liner off of a shin in the second inning. But I'm sure they have a plan.
2 balls and a strike on Jackson Holiday. Chad Green and Justin Brule were the only relievers to pitch in yesterday's game. Braden Fisher, Tommy Nance, and Fluharty each pitched the day before. And listen, they come back, tie it, take the lead. I mean, now you want to use Yariel Rodriguez and you want to use Jeff Hoffman, but you know, if you're down 4 or 5 runs, you don't want to have to use guys like that. And who knows, maybe Brule and Green have some pitches in them. One through 27 last night, or yesterday, 1 through 24. Maybe they are available tonight. The 2-2. And that's down and away. A full count now on Holiday with the runner at first and 1 out. But Fluharty's running out of pitches, or will soon. And that's why Little is up. Snaps a throw to first, and Mayo back in standing up. Strike 3 called. He got him right on the outside corner for a big second out.
Always thought that the toughest pitch left on left to cover was an outside cutter, especially after coming off of a pitch that's on the inner lane. He got Holiday to chase on the inner part, and look where this pitch is dotted. It's absolutely perfect right on the outside corner. If you can go inside left on left, you can typically open up the outer part.
So 2 down, and here's Jordan Westberg, who's already got a couple of base hits in this game. Fluharty trying to keep Little from having to come in until the next inning. Blue Jays down 6-4, bottom 4. As a sweeper is in there, and it's 1-1. We have seen Major League hitters, good Major League hitters, the first time they see Mason Fluharty, they're not really comfortable up there. He's funky, and everything is really moving. And maybe after you see him a second time, a third time. But remember the reaction last week from Jazz Chisholm Jr. with the Yankees. He's in the dugout like going zoom with his arm, like waving it back and forth, telling his teammates about it. And this can be an uncomfortable AB for guys who haven't seen Fluharty before. Into left center, that's a base hit for Westberg. Mayo's going to come around to third. Westberg's on his way to second. So it's second and third, 2 down. Westberg is 3 for 3. And the Blue Jays are challenging something at second base, the play at second base.
Wow.
Vic Carapazza is the crew chief.
Tag the runner, the call is overturned, and the runner is out. Toronto, retain your count.
And another win for the video room for the Blue Jays. A good challenge as Westberg is called out. And that'll end the inning.
Must be something heaven sends. Payback for the love I spent. Oh my, this time I'ma keep it going. Stay fucked up, feel so good. High on my, the sky underneath my feet. It never looked so good. Oh my, that's right. I'ma keep it up, stay fucked up, that's my mood. Oh my euphoria. Pretty close to heaven now.
Franchise history, Springer's on pace for 27 homers, 18 steals. That home run total would be the highest he's hit since he had 39 in 2019 when the ball was flying all over the place. The stolen base total would be only 2 off his career high. We can look at stats that normalize for league, for era, like OPS plus and weighted runs created plus. They all tell us, Dan, this is the second best season of Springer's career.
And as you say, Arden, not many guys have the second best season of their career at the age of 35. In the top 10 in the American League in batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS. Just keep right where he is, right? Just keep doing what he's doing. And again, a little time off here and there. The DHing time, or OPing time, as he likes to call it, the offensive player time. He readily admits has really benefited him. He's able to stay stronger. He feels stronger. He's heavier in a good way than he was last year. A little bit more rest and recovery and lifting, whatever it is. He feels physically better. That's one part of it. The other part is he clearly has a different mindset at the plate this year than he did last year.
No question. I think he's able to really get into better positions in terms of using his lower half. And talking to David Popkins, he's really kind of dissected the fact that we talked about Loperfido being a little bit taller. Well, when George was taller, he was not using his legs, so you'll see him a little bit more crunched over. See how he's a little bit crunched in the abdomen type area. That has really allowed him to load into the back hip, which gets him firing that lower half. And I was around the cage about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and George was hitting batting practice, and he hit a ball off the end of the bat, and it wasn't very good. And he said, man, when I use my arms, I get the label. When I use my legs, I get the barrel. It's been a big point of emphasis for him. Using those legs, and like you said, his ability to stay healthy, a little bit heavier, a little bit stronger. But I think this is kind of what David Popkins, Lou Iannotti, they've been able to do, is kind of use some of these new aged techniques in terms of biomechanics to really find out what positions guys feel the best in and allows them to get into better positions. He would be straight up last year. He was all arms. Now he's hunched over, using much more of his lower half.
Eflin gets him. 1 down.
Just another slow breaking ball from Eflin. He has used this pitch so effectively against not only the Blue Jays, but major league hitters. And if he can get you on the inner half and get you sped up, that pitch has been so effective because of the speed and the depth of it.
Now Guerrero, who homered to deep right center his last time up, grounded out in the first. It's his 3rd home run off Eflin in 23 career at-bats. Takes a changeup in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Those are the kinds of numbers you love to see from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That started the second game out of the All-Star break. It's hit hard and off the glove of Holiday into right field, and that will very likely be scored. A base hit for Guerrero. And it is.
Shortstop number 11, Bo Bichette.
So he's on as we get another look at Guerrero's second hit of the night. Caleb, he is on for Bo Bichette, who has a hit in his last 7 at-bats. The Blue Jay record is 8. As Bichette looks at a strike, Rance Mulliniks, Paul Molitor, the late Tony Fernandez, and Adam Lind, the 4 Blue Jays who share the record with a hit in 8 consecutive at-bats. Or 8 consecutive hits. They may have walked in there, but without making it out. 8 consecutive hits. Bichette with a looper to shallow center field. Mullins coming on, and it drops. His 3rd hit tonight, and now he will become the 5th Blue Jay ever. He's smirking a little. See, he didn't do it the last time, but after that one, you got to do it. 8 consecutive hits now for Bo Bichette to tie a franchise record.
They say the barrel's overrated. That's 2 at-bats in a row. He's missed the barrel on the low side, gets a hit. Missed it on the end, gets a hit. Wow, what a heater he's on right now.
And that's also going to be the last pitch thrown tonight by Zach Eflin. He is out of the game with a 1 out here in the 5th. Right-hander Corbin Martin is coming in for the Orioles.
Must be something heaven sends. Payback for the love I spent. Oh my, this time I'ma keep it gonna stay fucked up, feel so good. High on my, the sky underneath my feet, it never looks so good. Oh my, let's try, I'ma keep it up, stay fucked up, that's my mood. Oh my pretty close to heaven now. Moments of euphoria. I am never coming down.
Comes the 5th Blue Jay in franchise history with 8 consecutive hits. First and second, 1 out, and Tony Mansolino was gone to his bullpen. Right-hander Corbin Martin is in the game to face Addison Barger. 0-1.
Yeah, Corbin Martin, former 2nd rounder of the Houston Astros. 6th appearance for the Orioles here in 2025. Pretty well for him, just under a 2 earned run average. Fastball around 96, slider, curve, 3-pitch mix.
They claimed him on waivers last year from Milwaukee. He has also pitched in the big leagues for Houston and Arizona. And he's out in front of Barger, 0-2. Barger's 0-2 tonight. Guerrero at second, Bichette at first, and 1 out. Up and away, ball 1. dribbler that stays foul. It's still 1-2 on Barger. Lots of offense in this one, and really this ball game's only halfway through right now. Top of the fifth inning, 6-4.
Seems like around the 8th or the 9th inning, but we're kind of at a snail's pace. And when you're about to play 4 games in 48 hours, I think everyone involved would love it to kind of speed up a bit.
Swing and a miss. Barger goes after a high fastball, 2 down.
Barger's been pitched very tough in this ball game. Eflin was really crowding with the cutters on the upper inner half. Martin just kind of goes up top with some high-octane velocity. Rare chase from Barger there.
So 2 down. Here's Ernie Clement. Clement is 1 for 2. Had a base hit his last time up and came in to score. Chops it foul, and now it's 0-2 on him. A lot of new faces in this Oriole bullpen. Felix Bautista's on the IL, and they traded away a couple of guys as well. As Martin gets Clement to chase in the dirt. Rutschman down to first to complete the out and retire the side. Still 6-4 Orioles as we check in now with Jamie Campbell.
Must be something heaven sends. Payback for the love I spent. Oh my, this time I'ma keep it going. Stay fucked up, feel so good. High on my, the sky underneath my feet. It never looked so good.
Lucky Brewers. So Jansen will be coming to Toronto with the Brewers at the end of August. The Rays are in sell mode right now. It's 6-4 Baltimore going to the bottom of the fifth, and again, much earlier than we're used to seeing Brendan Little, but it's a 2-run game. And they don't have as many options as they would normally have. No real long man available out of the pen, so he's coming in to face the middle of the order. Henderson, Rutschman, they'll turn him around, and then O'Hearn. So if you're going to use Brendan Little, Caleb, this is the part of the order you want to use him.
To me, feels like probably the highest leverage part of the game so far. If they can continue to put up zeros, try and get a little bit of momentum into that Blue Jays dugout, try and take the lead and piece it together from there on out.
Swing and a miss by Henderson, who has flied out and walked. Tommy Nance is already up in the pen, suggesting that maybe Brendan Little only gets those 3 batters. Little's had 2 days off since he has last pitched.
The last 9 appearances for Little have gone very well. Has not given up an earned run in those 9. It's all about being in the zone enough to get the opposing hitters to chase below.
On the appeal, he went around, and Henderson strikes out for out number 1. And now a message from Home Hardware.
DIY projects on deck? Step up to the plate with the Celebrate Summers.
So Brendan Little strikes out the first batter he faces, and now they will turn Adley Rutschman around to the right side. You know, one other thought about the bullpen. Jeff Hoffman hasn't pitched since Tuesday. He's had 5 days off. And as you well know, at some point, you get to a point with your closer or anybody else where you say, I've got to put the guy in the game. Even if the situation doesn't dictate it, he's been off for so long, it's time. So maybe they come into the game knowing that no matter what was going on, they want Jeff Hoffman in the game for an inning tonight. Maybe not, but it's possible. They wouldn't use him in both games of the doubleheader tomorrow. They're not going to do that. So, you know, maybe they already knew coming into the game that, hey, Hoffman's getting an inning no matter what. So that would give them another arm. A little bit up and in, 2-1 on Rutschman.
Like that inning of work he had in Sacramento, hadn't pitched in 5 days. Jays were losing by quite a bit, and he just had to get some work in, especially going into the break. Most closers that I had, they didn't like to go more than 3 days before getting back on the mound.
A ton of run on that fastball there, and it's 3-1. Rutschman struck out of the first, had a 2-run double in the third. On the corner, 3-2. That's the way to go tonight, man. That is the way to go.
Wow.
Not sure the iPhone's going to survive that all that well, but that's a fair ball down the left field line. And it's going to be the second double of the ball game for Adley Rutschman.
Rutschman right off the IL, really making his presence known. Watch this breaking ball. Doesn't have that. That's a yanked heater. My fault. That's a yanked fastball that he pulled. Because it's pulled, it has kind of the same action as a breaking ball. Adley's out in front, able to really get barrel to baseball. So many times when you're on the IL, you come right back. You're full of energy. You're ready to go. The season hasn't worn down on you like the others that have been playing every single day.
Now Ryan O'Hearn laces one into the right center field gap. And that's going to get to the wall. It'll score Rutschman. And the double by O'Hearn makes it 7-4.
The reason Brendan Little's in this game is because I feel like, man,
Knuckle curve in there for a strike, 1-1. It's going to be complicated for both managers tomorrow. John Schneider only got 2 1/3 out of Chris Bassett. Tony Mansolino got 4 1/3 out of Zach Eflin. And now Laureano demolishes one to left field. And the Orioles up the lead. It's now 9-4.
It's a knuckle curve from Little that just doesn't get to the bottom. Laureano, his splits against lefties is climbing higher and higher. Watch this pitch. It just kind of nestles right down towards the middle, down and in part of the plate. He golfed it much like Lucas golfed his breaking ball out to right field.
That is just the second home run given up by Brendan Little this year in 47 2/3 innings. Now he's fallen behind Colton Cowser 2-0. Unfortunately now, because it hasn't gone well, you're using up his pitches in a game where you're down by 5, but they were only down by 2 when he came into the game. 2-0, that's a strike, 2-1. At the knees, 2-2.
This part of the game where you hope that Little can kind of work his way out of that, and it would be great to have a 2 or 3 inning long guy in the bullpen, but the Blue Jays just kind of don't have that, so they're sort of stuck in second gear, having to use a lot of guys that are 1 inning guys. That now's the perfect time to have a Paxton Schultz in there to give you 2, 3 innings and just kind of used to call them mop-up innings, and I'm sure that Pete Walker and John Schneider are kind of sitting over there mulling exactly what we're. They can find a way to scratch something out, but now you're starting to think about tomorrow and the next day.
And Little walks Cowser. So he has faced 5 batters tonight and only retired 1 of them. He's already thrown 20 pitches. And it looks like he'll get 1 more batter because it's another left-handed hitter in Cedric Mullins. But this may knock Little totally out of commission for both games tomorrow.
I would think so.
Yeah, being north of 20 pitches.
Now you've used both your left-handers in Little and Fluharty. You do have Brule, but if they do make a roster move for tomorrow, could potentially go into a doubleheader without 2 lefties. And the Orioles have lefties. They have a lot of lefties in this lineup, and especially late in the game when you really want to start finding really good pockets to start matching up. Especially if you're winning, it's really nice to have those 2 options down there.
And Eric Lauer is going to start one of the games tomorrow. Looks like the night game. So they'll have a left-handed starter in one of the games. And Easton Lucas is here and will be activated tomorrow. So whether he starts or is a bulk guy or whatever he does, probably in the day game tomorrow. So they will have a couple of left-handed options, but it doesn't look like they'll have Little or Fluharty, as now Mullins rips one into the right field corner. Cowser's getting the stop sign at third. It's a double for Mullins, who's having a huge night. Already has homered and taken away a home run from Nathan Lucas. And we have not seen an outing like this for Brendan Little. And John Schneider is going to make a move. This is unraveling on the Blue Jays right now. They're down 9-4. The Orioles looking for more. And John Schneider has to go to his bullpen yet again.
Pretty close to heaven now.
And again, Tommy Nance is a guy who can give them more than an inning, and at this point, you just want to get as many outs from guys as you can, knowing you got 18 innings to play tomorrow. They've already used Bassett, who went 2 1/3. Mason Fluharty went an inning and 2/3. Fluharty threw 24 pitches, as did Brendan Little. Nance will start Kobe Mayo with a strike. Mayo, the number 9 hitter, has homered and singled. The Orioles have 9 runs on 13 hits already in this game. They've hit 3 homers. Slider away, 1-1. Infield in for the Blue Jays, as that is fouled off by Mayo, and it got a piece of Tyler Heineman. And that's another in a series of about the last thing that this team needs, with Alejandro Kirk already on the IL, the concussion IL, and that got Heineman on the inside of the left knee, or inside of the left shin, it looks like. Knee. Ouch. How much does that padding help?
Oh, it helps when you're sitting on your knee, but when a ball is batted right in between those 2 pads, it feels like there's no pad whatsoever.
Back to the mound, runner coming home, and Nance will throw to first. They get the out there, as Guerrero had to make a pretty agile play to get the out. May have had a play at the plate, was coming towards the ball, but obviously didn't feel comfortable in it and took the out at first.
Yep, love the play that of the fact that he got an out, but in a 9-4 game, I think you really got to kind of take your chances and really try and push the envelope. Could have been a little bit of exchange there. He didn't feel the exchange and so rerouted to first base, but I think you got to go home there. Hope for the best.
So it's 10-4. Mullins is now at third. There are 2 outs, and the batter is Jackson Holliday, who's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Nance in there with another breaking ball. That's the curveball there, and it's 0-2. Nance has made a favorable impression since coming from Buffalo. He's pitched well.
Really like how he's incorporated the other pitches to kind of save and make that breaking ball super effective. That's just pitching 101.
And he gets Holliday. So that'll end the inning, but the Orioles score 4 more runs and now lead 10-4.
Maybe I'm an alien. Must be something heaven sent. Payback for the love I spent. Oh my, this time I'ma keep it going. Stay fucked up, feel so good. High on my, the sky underneath my feet. It never looked so good. Oh my, let's try. I'ma keep it up, stay fucked up, that's my mood. Oh my euphoria.
Orioles are up 10-4. Top of the 6th inning, Corbin Martin is still on the mound for Baltimore, and he will start Joey Loperfido with a strike at the bell. Loperfido is 1 for 2 tonight. A fly ball to left and a base hit to right. He'll be followed by Tyler Heidemann and then Will Wagner. Martin came on and struck out the 2 batters he faced in the 5th inning, Barger and Clement, to strand a couple of runners. And at that point, it was just a 2-run game, much different situation than it is now. 1-2 on Loperfido. Fastball down the middle that Loperfido takes for strike 3 call. So Martin has struck out all 3 batters he has faced now. That'll bring up Tyler Heidemann, who has grounded out and had a sacrifice. This is down the right field line. That's a fair ball. And it'll be overrun by Laureano, and that is going to allow Heinemann to make the turn and come to third. They kind of overplayed that a little bit, running into foul territory. It hit the wall and caromed by him, and that gave Heinemann an extra 90 feet.
Yeah, the wall is super tight as it gets down close to that right field line. And with this type of lead, you're just trying to track this ball and not turn it into a triple. But Laureano, he really gets after it and totally overplays it. You can see Heidemann, he's getting in there. He's going, okay, I'm reading it. He looks up and he sees the overplay, and then he turns it into second gear.
So now Will Wagner, and given the fact that the Orioles have a 6-run lead, they'll play the infield back. So a ground ball gets a run home here. And yes, they're down by 6, but you got to start somewhere. And Will Wagner wants to do everything he can do to get this run home. And he is not going to be able to do it. He didn't get it by the pitcher, so Heidemann has to hold. That's the second out of the inning, and now it'll be up to Nathan Lucas. Nobody up, by the way, in the Blue Jay bullpen. Tommy Nance, who got the last 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, will come back out for the bottom of the 6th.
I think this is a big run right here. I really do. Even though it's a 6-run lead for the Orioles, I think this is a big run. If they can get it to 5, you can make a team that's already lost 58 games this year start to feel a little bit nervous.
Inside, ball 1 to Lucas, who's 1 for 3, hit a homer back in the 3rd.
Orioles know the Jays are in first place for a reason because they just keep coming. And if you feel like you keep coming, you pressure the Orioles into continuing to score. If they don't put together 2 innings of a run or 2, you can be right back in the game.
Blue Jays are 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight. They do have 4 runs on 9 hits, but they could have more.
Comeback wins this year. This team knows how to come back. It looks like it's out of reach, but this is a beaten up Orioles team that knows losing all too well.
Three and 1. Lucas would be happy to take a walk here and have a couple of men on for George Springer. Play now full. Heineman to third, 2 down here, top 6. And strike 3 called to get Lucas, and that Heineman triple is stranded.
Pretty close to heaven now. Moments of euphoria. I am never coming down. Oh my, this time I'ma keep it going, stay fucked up, feel so good. High on my, the sky underneath my feet, it never looked so good. Oh my, that's right, I'ma keep it up, stay fucked up, that's my mood. Oh my, euphoria.
Worse, maybe, than it is. Not that it's awesome, but we'll see what tomorrow, the day game tomorrow, the first game of the doubleheader, we'll see what that's like.
Yeah, this is okay. A
Yeah.
little bit of a breeze. The
Yeah.
humidity is way down.
Now, we're not playing. We should make that clear.
Exactly. And we have a whiff of AC every once
Yeah.
in a while kind of coming through the booth.
Tommy Nance back on the mound, bottom of the 6th. The Blue Jays on the wrong end of a 10-4 game right now. Jordan Westberg swings at the first pitch that he sees and lifts one to right center field, where Addison Barger will make the catch. So Nance got 2 outs in the 5th. He's retired the first batter here in the 6th, and I'm sure they would love for him at the very least to get through this inning. But when he came back up from Buffalo, I asked him, like, how have you been used and all that, and 5 outs, maybe 2 innings, but I don't think he's a 7, 8, 9 out guy. Then again, he's only thrown 8 pitches so far. And they're in a bit of a spot right now. So sometimes you have to ask guys to do things they don't normally do. Gunnar Henderson, the batter, 0 for 2 with a walk. 2-0. Slider on the inside corner, 2-1. Tommy Nance has a lot of confidence in both of those breaking balls, the slider and the curveball. He knows the curveball is a bit more of a put-away pitch, but the slider is one he can command better. Although he missed there with it, 3-1.
And I think that kind of speaks to today's day and age. His curveball generates quite a bit of whiff. It is a really good pitch, metrically speaking, and so I think the metrics would say throw it often, throw it all the time, throw it all the time.
Bounce to second. Clement's got to back up, and then he lost it on the transfer. Knew he had to get rid of it quickly, and he couldn't do it, and Henderson is aboard.
The sure-handed Clement, you could see it kind of get stuck in the heel of the glove, and a lot of times major leaguers, they're not used to that transfer when it's not right in the pocket, and I feel like that ball getting kind of stuck in between his thumb and his pinky really screwed up the exchange a little bit. Obviously, the speed of Henderson speeds up the internal clock of Clement. It's plays like that just makes you feel like it's just not the Blue Jays' night.
And he is charged with an error on that play. That'll bring up Adley Rutschman, who's already got 2 doubles, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs in this game. High, a ball and a strike. Nobody is up in the Blue Jay pen, so at the very least they want Nance. They hope that Nance can get through this inning. The count on Rutschman. Into right field, that's a base hit. Henderson around second, on his way to third.
Yeah, just another really good swing by Rutschman, his 3rd hit of the day. Watch how he kind of stays on this slider, kind of middle down. That's typically the honey hole for left-handed hitters, especially when you've got a little bit of tilt in the bat. Rutschman has that. Let's see Henderson race around to third base, but it's been a really good game for the young Oriole catcher coming off of the IL. He's really been a thorn in the Blue Jays' side his entire career, continues to be that way tonight.
First and third, 1 out for Ryan O'Hearn. Ground ball to second. The flip to Bichette, he bare hands and throws to Guerrero to turn the double play. And that will end the inning. How about that? I mean, the infield was in, but they felt they had time.
Pretty close to heaven now. Moments of euphoria. I am never coming down. Oh my, this time I'ma keep it going, stay fucked up, feel so good. High on my, the sky underneath my feet, it never looked so good. Oh my, that's right, I'ma keep it up, stay fucked up, that's my mood. Oh my, euphoria.
The second game, and then a day game Wednesday, another 12:35 start. Right-hander Colin Selby, who is in his 5th stint with the Orioles this year. He's been up and down 5 times. Is in there to face George Springer to begin the 7th. It'll be Springer, Guerrero, and Bichette. So if the Blue Jays are going to make some noise, this is as good a time as any. Springer 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. got jammed, and he pops it up for the shortstop Henderson going back into the outfield, 1 down.
Heavy sinker from Selby, about 96 in terms of velocity, and it plays up because of the extension. 6'2", 220 pounds. When you have that type of real heavy sink, you've got to get that bat head out in front. You see the miles per hour, you see 96, you're thinking more, but you got to play it more towards like 98, 99 because of that extension.
Here's Guerrero, who is 2 for 3, including a 2-run homer back in the third. Top of the third was the high point of the night for the Blue Jays. Home runs by Lucas and Guerrero brought them back into a 3-3 tie, but it's basically been all Orioles ever since. Inside at 96, 2-0. How long would it take you to grow a beard like that?
At least 3 months. And it would be very patchy. It would not be that
would not
full.
look like that?
No. What about you? You look like you can grow it.
I've never gone more than this. That feels. I don't think that would be fun. In 100-degree weather too. That doesn't look like any fun. I think I'd have to play in the Alaskan Summer League if I was going to have a beard like that. Guerrero with a bouncer to third. Tricky play made by Westberg, and he'll get him 2 down.
Yeah, the third base is played on the angles, and you got to take really good drop steps or charges in. Watch his footsteps. See how he angles his body towards the left center field gap? That allows for him to get that really good clean hop. If he goes directionally straight across towards the second base, he's going to get that real short hop that's going to be very difficult. It's all about angles at the corners on the infield.
Now Bo Bichette deep in the hole at short, and it's off the glove of Henderson. And we'll wait to see how they score it. If it's a hit, it'll be 9 consecutive hits for Bichette and a new franchise record. And it is. They have given him a base hit. So Bo Bichette is 4 for 4 tonight after going 5 for 5 yesterday.
Get him to the plate with runners in scoring position. If I'm a Blue Jays hitter, I'm going down to Bichette's bat rack and touching his barrel all over my barrels, trying to steal some of those hits.
So he's at first with 2 outs for Addison Barger, who skies one to right. Down the line, foul territory, and just on the other side of the netting and out of play. And Caleb, Justin Brule evidently is able to pitch in this game after 27 pitches last night. Again, you and I both thought there might be a roster move before the game, get one of the long guys on the roster. They did not, and we don't know before the game who's available and who's not. And Brule, again, who threw 27 pitches yesterday, will come in and try to give the Blue Jays an inning here tonight. And then quite possibly, of course, is going to be on the wrong end of a roster move tomorrow, because those 3 guys are here for a reason, and there's a doubleheader tomorrow. You get a 27th man, but the other 2, if they activate the other 2 guys, there have to be 2 corresponding moves. Barger 0 for 3 tonight. This one down the left field line. Cowser coming over into foul territory, and he'll make the play. 7th inning stretch now at Camden Yards, and the Orioles with the lead.
just trying to really get as many outs as you can, as efficiently as you can. The good thing for Brule is it's not really a high velocity type of pitcher. So these guys tend to bounce back after long outings the night before or day before really well. They rely on movement, they rely on deception, they rely on location. Hopefully he can be incredibly efficient. Blue Jays don't have to use any more pitchers in this game. And then just hope that the business side of baseball doesn't bite you. But these are innings that if you can get through these 2 innings, a manager will just love you. And he'll remember that. He'll remember what you do in games like this. And so hopefully he can get through these clean.
Ramon Laureano's had a big night, 2 for 3 with a home run and 3 runs driven in. Again, if there are scouts, GMs, etc. from other teams looking at the Orioles, this is one of the guys they're looking at. An outfielder having a very good year, experienced guy, power, good arm, and a free agent at the end of the season. Grounds this one to short. Bichette up with it. And first, 1 down. Now Brule to face Colton Cowser. They're not booing. They're mooing because his name is Cowser.
And let me tell you this, Dan. I got here a little bit earlier than you today, and in the left field corner of this ballpark at about 2:30, I looked down there. There was a cow right beyond the left field foul pole.
A real cow?
A real cow. I promise you, I am not joking. And I don't know if anyone got it on tape, but I was shocked. Right in the middle of the day.
High drive left center. Long run Lucas. Jumps and it's beyond his reach and gone. A home run for Cowser. And it's 11-4.
Well, there it is. There's the cow. The crowd is mooing for Cowser. It's the Orioles' 4th homer of this game, and they have just used the long ball to really dismantle the Blue Jays pitchers. Watch this pitch look like it's a pulled fastball trying to go on the outer half. Doesn't get there. Center cut, middle down to a lefty. That's nitro zone.
Cedric Mullins, he's had a good night. He's got a home run tonight. By the way, this is the 11th consecutive game between these two teams. As Mullins will take that one inside, where the Orioles have hit at least 2 home runs against the Blue Jays. 11 games in a row. Now, the other 10 were exactly 2. This is home games. Let me be more specific. Games here at Camden Yards. 11 straight games here in this ballpark between these two teams where the Orioles have hit multiple home runs.
And if you've been on the club for more than a year or two, it becomes a thing. You just kind of remember this happening quite often.
Goes back to 2023. Brule loses Mullins.
Isn't it funny with totally different teams with different pieces, and sometimes some of these storylines just continue to play out, like Bassett having a tough time in this park for whatever reason, and it's a totally different year, and he's trying different things, and it's a few different names in the lineups, but just at times you get the same result. Funny how certain trends just kind of continue in this game.
The batter is Kobe Mayo. He's got a home run tonight. He hits a bouncer wide of third. Wagner dove for it and deflects it into left. The throw to third, runner safe there. Throw to second, safe there. And about everything that can go wrong is going wrong for the Blue Jays here tonight. Ernie Clement again looked into the dugout to see if they might have a case to challenge at second as they did earlier, but they're not going to this time.
You know, watch Wagner at third base really trying to get fully extended. Probably didn't have a play. Maybe Bichette knocks that ball down. None of the runners advance, but that throw from Lo Perpino has got to go to second base with 1 out. Laureano's in his motion. That throw has got to go to second base to keep the double play in order.
Instead, it's second and third, one out, and now the infield comes in. Jackson Holliday, really the only Oriole who hasn't gotten in on the offense tonight. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. Popped up, foul, third base side. Wagner looks like he has room. Makes the catch, 2 down. Pat on the back there for Holliday. You love seeing your teammates do well, but when your team's got 11 runs and you're 0 for 5.
There's always one guy, and I know that, Dan, because I was always the one guy. Always. I mean, guys are rushing to the bat rack trying to grab a bat, and I'm trying to burn my bats and start over.
Here's Jordan Westbrook. He's had a good night, 3 for 4. 3 singles. Ground ball to short. Bichette has it and makes the play to end the inning. So Brule pitches an inning here tonight. It's 11-4 Baltimore. We've got a Blue Jay Central update with Jamie and Madison in the home.
Maybe I'm an alien. Must be something heaven sends. Payback for the love I spent. Oh my, this time I'ma keep it going. Stay fucked up, feel so good. High on my, the sky underneath my feet. It never looked so good. Oh my, that's right. I'ma keep it up, stay fucked up, that's my mood. Oh my euphoria. Pretty close to heaven now. Moments of euphoria. I am never coming down. Oh my, this time I'ma keep it going. Stay fucked up, feel so good. High on my, the sky underneath my feet. It never looked so good. Oh my, that's right. I'ma keep it up, stay fucked up, that's my mood. Oh my euphoria.
Operated very nicely with the Blue Jays recently. The Yankees are trailing Tampa Bay 3-2, top of the 7th in the Bronx. The Red Sox are leading Minnesota 3-2, top of the 5th in Minneapolis. The Tigers have won, and the reason we mention the Tigers is the Blue Jays are up there with teams like the Tigers and the Astros for top spot in the American League. The Tigers beat Arizona 5-1. The Astros are scoreless in the fourth with the Nationals. This is hooked to left field, and it's going to drop. That'll be a base hit for Straw. Now Tyler Heineman will turn around to bat from the right side against the left-hander Wolfram. Davis Schneider's come out in the on-deck circle. He's going to hit for Will Wagner. Up and away, ball one to Heineman. Down and in, 2-0. You think Ali Sanchez gets the day game tomorrow? Heineman gets the night game. Sanchez gets the day game Wednesday?
I believe that would be logical. And
I mean, catching a day game after a night game, I would imagine, is hard enough, and then you add in the heat.
Absolutely, yeah. And the heat here, especially if it's humid, it's just different. And that gives Heineman a solid 24 hours to recover.
3-1.
And Lauer seems pretty kind of standard. Doesn't need a ton of sequencing. He's just kind of does his game plan. He might have a couple hitters here and there that he might need to really maneuver around, but I think he's kind of a plug and play. You can kind of put any kind of catcher back there, and he's going to attack certain zones until you force him out of that area, and it makes sense.
So sounds like Lauer starts the night game. We don't know who is starting the day game. But again, there are three pitchers who are here, not on the active roster. Easton Lucas is here, Paxton Schultz is here, and Lazaro Estrada is here, and presumably all three of them are going to be active tomorrow. Up in foul territory, and Mayo, the first baseman, makes the catch. 2 down. And Heineman with some words again for Brian Walsh, the home plate umpire. He did not like a couple of the pitches and had some words during the at-bat and again after he was making his way back towards the dugout.
Yeah, it started all the way back in the first inning, maybe the second pitch of the first at-bat for him. And a lot of times this is just build-up. It builds up in the first inning, and as a catcher, you got a really good idea of the strike zone. And, you know, I like that Heineman's comfortable in his skin to go ahead and say something. I think a year and a half ago, he might not have said anything.
Davis Schneider, pinch hitting for Will Wagner, lifts a high fly ball to left field, and the side is retired. On to the bottom of the 8th, still 11-4 for the Orioles. appears, Caleb, that they have managed to avoid having to use Yariel Rodriguez and Jeff Hoffman in this game, and that they didn't feel compelled to get Hoffman in there with him not having pitched in 5 days. So they managed to get just enough, I guess, to not use Rodriguez and Hoffman, but unfortunately they've got to use Fisher in a game like this. The batter is Gunnar Henderson, who is 0 for 3 with a walk. A lot of defensive changes for the Blue Jays. If you follow the team, you can probably guess who is where. As Barger's now at third, Schneider is in left, Straws in center, and Lucas is in right. Curveball taken just low for ball 1. And this one hit to left center field, deep but playable for Straw, and the first out. Two in theaters August 1st. One down, here's Adley Rutschman, who's 3 for 4 with a couple of doubles. Orioles have kind of been the bad guys tonight for the Blue Jays,
No question. With the big bats.
Yep. Fly ball right center field, hanging up long enough for Straw to get there. 2 down.
So I've seen a couple fastballs from Fisher in this outing, and I feel like he's right in the middle of kind of that first big adjustment period. He went quite a while throwing the 2 breaking balls, really getting away with a low fastball percentage usage, and I really feel like the league is starting to adjust a little bit, and for him to really stay sustainable, I feel like he's going to have to continue to use that fastball a little bit more so that other hitters start to really continue to respect those breaking balls. A lot of times when the league sees you over and over and over, they're going to get a little bit more accustomed to what you have. Now you have to make, as a young player, that first big adjustment in your usage.
On the season, roughly, he's about 40% slider, 40% curveball, 20% fastball.
And I think it's just going to continue to tick up. I would say probably maxes out around 25-30%, but it'll just depend on how well he can locate those breaking balls. But using the fastball, and it's a good one, and it's from a different angle, and he's flying off towards the first base side, and it's got some good life, especially when it gets to the top of the zone. You got to give major leaguers a different speed at times. I know those 2 breaking balls are different, but when you force them to meet barrel to baseball out in front on velocity, it opens up so much underneath with the breaking balls.
Bounces in that slider. Opponents, and some of this is a little bit of small sample size. He hasn't been up that long, and he's a reliever, but opponents are hitting under 200 on all 3 of his pitches this year. He has certainly been one of the good stories for this team this season. Fastball got in on his hands. Popped up shallow right. Clement going out, makes the catch. And Fisher has a 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th.
Maybe I'm an alien. Must be something heaven sends. Payback for the love I spent. Oh my, this time I'ma keep it gon' stay fucked
different ways to get there, but they both count the same. Two really good swings in what has been a bit of a disappointing effort from the offense tonight.
Right-hander Cade Stroud is on to work the top of the ninth inning with the Orioles in command, leading 11-4, his fifth appearance with Baltimore this season. Lucas will lead it off. And he pumps in a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that's called just high for ball one. So it'll be Lucas, Springer, and Guerrero here in the ninth inning. Again, don't forget it's a day-night doubleheader tomorrow. The first pitch of the first game is at 12:35. The night game is at 6:35. And both teams are TBA right now in terms of who the starting pitcher is. I imagine they'll both announce after the game. Fouled off, 1-2. Pick back in 2019. This is his first year in the big leagues. Another foul off by Lucas.
A little bit of a slower windup, but then it's a really quick yet short arm action, which a lot of times that slower initial movement with the leg coming up can kind of draw you in, and then bam, there's the ball right in front of you. Sort of like the drive line, Lucas Giolito type, where they kind of pull it out and it's kind of right by the right ear. A lot of old school catchers used to kind of use that same motion, exchange it, pull it right up next to the ear, and just let it fire.
I think Joe Kelly went to that kind of a delivery as well.
And it's very deceiving as a hitter when you're in the box. You're just so used to timing up kind of the arm action, and when you have a guy that will pull it back and kind of hold it there, you feel a little bit better about your timing. But when it speeds up and it's more of a short arm action, it can throw you for a loop.
Grounded past the mound for Henderson out at short. One down. Now George Springer 0 for 3 with a walk. He came in to score on the Guerrero home run after drawing that walk in the third. Ooh! And a fastball runs up and in and hits Springer. See, Springer just raised his head and said, wow. That's assistant athletic trainer Boone Chong, who is tending to him. Mark Budzinski is there. John Schneider is there. We'll show you a replay or two momentarily, but we want to keep it live here and see how George is doing. Hands and knees. Nobody feels worse, obviously, than Cade Stroud about it. The last thing that he wanted to do. As he looks on, and Springer hopefully will be able to get back on his feet, but This ballpark is silent. Assistance making his way off the field, and hopefully Springer is going to be okay. Let's take a look. Right in the ear flap, and he had nowhere to go.
No, you're stuck. You're dead, and it's a really good thing that he turned his head. Him turning his head might have saved him from catching one right in the beak. And you could see the reaction from Stroud immediately. He just went straight to the ground into a crouch with his hands in his head. That turn right there looked like it might have caught a little bit of the shoulder first, may have deflected a little bit of that velocity from it, but watch his head turn. That's a really good move. But very, very scary when you get a baseball thrown in that general direction. Obviously 0-10. It's a hot, sticky night. Stroud's trying to finish this game off, but really good sign that George was able to walk off the field.
A fastball at 96 too. I mean, just no time.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
I've been there before. You're stuck. There's nowhere to go. I'm just glad he was able to turn.
Leo Jimenez is in to run. The batter is Guerrero. This ballpark is still silent. It's as
eerily,
if the game is not going on right now.
It's eerily silent.
Yeah. And maybe not surprising he's throwing sliders down and away. He might be a little shaken up.
There's no question. That's a great point. If I was a catcher, I'd be calling away.
Stays with that off-speed pitch. They call it a cutter here, but it's not his four-seamer. So a cutter in there for a strike, 2-1. He might throw nothing but cutters here to try to finish this off. Just his 5th major league appearance. Threw it again, missed outside, ball 3. Throw him a four-seam fastball. He may be, a little unsure about his ability to control it, and he doesn't want to hit anybody else, so he just stayed completely away from Guerrero. And he might do the same here with Bichette.
These are really tough situations to be in. You're obviously in the back of your mind thinking about the well-being of Springer. If there's still a job to be finished, tough situation.
Bichette is 4 for 4 tonight after going 5 for 5 yesterday. A franchise record 9 consecutive hits. The major league record is 12, set by Jose Miranda of the Twins last year. Bichette might not get much to hit, and Tony Mansolino may not have a choice. He might have to make a change here if Stroud is unnerved by throwing a fastball, can't find the plate with the cutter. He finds the plate. It's bounced up the middle. There's one, and a high throw, and they'll get Bichette. And that'll be the ball game. So he got a ball in play. He got a double play. The game is over. The Blue Jays lose 11-4, but the overwhelming thoughts right now are the well-being of George Springer.
Looked like he was going to be okay as he was able to walk off the field. It's a really good sign for the Blue Jays. The prowess of the Orioles lineup potential really showed itself in this game. 8 extra base hits, 4 of those came via the homer. But it's a really quick turnaround, Dan, as it seems like in a mere hours they're going to not only play 1 but 2. So they got to try and flush this one as quick as they can and try and reset, get a W tomorrow in the afternoon.
We'll have both of them for you. It starts at 12